warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. So for this video, we will discuss about how to calculate the resistance in series and parallel. Okay, so we're going to start with the simplest question, which is question number 10. So here you can see clearly that these resistors are in series. So to solve that one, you can simply do R1 plus R2 plus R3. This one the 5 kan, so plus R4 and R5, so you get 22. That one simple lah, tak ada masalah. Okay, this question B, these three are in parallel to each other, so it will be 1 over R, 1 over R, 1 over R, so you get 1.5. Kita ada masalah kot ni. Okay, kalau kamu rasa kamu confused between series and parallel, the key thing about parallel, dia ada junction. So here you can see the junction clearly. Ada junction, that one is parallel. There's no junction like this one is just a corner, so that one would be in series. Okay, the next example will be this one. Okay, ini pun sometimes student rasa macam confusing because dia ada satu yang diagonal like this. But don't get confused, you can always redraw. My preference would be resistor saya dalam x-axis, so saya memang akan redraw so that resistor tu dalam mendatar macam tu, melintang. So what I'm gonna do is that I can go from here, and then the current flows and then meet up a junction. So dekat junction tu kamu split up into 3 as per the diagram here lah. So split up into 3, and each one of those meet up with 5, 3 and 9. So I just redraw. So you can see clearly that this one is in parallel. Once kamu identify, that one is simple. Okay, now moving on to question number 11A. So this one is combination of series and parallel. So if it is involved with combination of series and parallel, you have to solve the simplest one first lah. Kalau kamu dah lukis, redraw, kamu boleh nampak mana nak solve dulu. So now you can try to redraw this one. Again, I love to redraw. So my technique would be always start from the positive terminal. Okay, saya memang sentiasa start daripada positive terminal, and then they meet up a resistor, and then after the resistor it meet up a junction. Itu yang akan saya draw first. So that one is the first thing that I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw everything, all my component will be in x-axis, mendatar je. So I'm going to start with the power supply here. So saya flipkan dia, baringkan dia jadi mendatar, and then sampailah dia jumpa yang first resistor, which is 5 ohm. And before that, dia tak ada any junction. This one is just a corner. So jalan je, and then jumpa resistor, and then it goes straight, and then split up into 2 at a junction there. So this junction, I'm gonna redraw the junction as well. I can split up into 2. Okay, meet up with 3 and 7 ohm respectively, and combine back at a junction there, which is in pink color there. Okay, so I repeat, from the red junction, they split up into 2 like this, split up into 2. One go through the 3, another one go through the 7 ohm, 3 and 7, and then it meet up at the pink junction here, and then goes out again. And then afterwards, just go back straight to the negative terminal. So I can redraw that one. Okay, to look something like this. Now you can see clearly that the 3 and 7s are in parallel, while the 5 is series to this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to solve this one first. Once you did that, you just have 2 resistors in series. So that one's simple, easy lah. Before you start calculate, make sure you double check your amount of junction and resistor. Here you have 2 junction, so 2 junction tally up. Make sure you have 3 resistor as well, so 1, 2, 3, so it should be okay. Now you can start to calculate the solution here. Okay, maybe it's best if I can rename some of my resistor here. Okay, to combine R1, R2 and R3, that's the first step. To combine that one, it is in parallel, so they are in parallel, so I can write R23 equals to 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 which is 1 over 3 plus 1 over 7. So it will be R23 equals to, okay, I have to press my calculator now, 2.1. Jangan lupa untuk terbalikkan dia balik. So ada 1 per kan, so jangan lupa terbalikkan balik. And now R effective, which is basically R23 plus with R1, because that one is just in series, so I can solve that one straight away. 2.1 plus 5, which is 7.1 ohm. So this is the values of R effective for question number 11A. Okay, the next question will be question number 11B. So this one involve with few resistor, ada banyak sikit lah compared to previously, tapi jangan risau juga. Again, normally I will try to redraw so that all my components are along the x-axis. So I'm gonna start with the positive plates punya, positive terminal punya power supply and go straight to the first resistor there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna draw it down here. Go straight, goes up, and it goes to the first resistor, which is 2 ohm there. And then it meet up a junction. Okay, so this is my 2 ohm. Meet up a junction and then it splits into 2. You can see that it is actually split into 2 lah. The first one we go through 7 and then 1 and then 10. And the second junction to that can go through 6. So I'm going to draw it like that. Goes up, meet up my first resistor there, 7, 1, and then 10. Okay, down here go through 6. And those things combine back over here at the pink junction there. Okay. Okay, so up here is 7 ohm, 1 ohm, and then 10 ohm. Down here we have 6 ohm. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to separate this one with the down there, nanti confusing. Okay, the next one after the pink junction, it go through the 8 resistor, 8 ohm resistor, and then goes back to the negative terminal. So that one is simple, goes through the 8 ohm resistor and goes back to the negative terminal like that. Okay, so before you start calculating, double check the amount of resistor and junction. So you have 2 junction there, so you should have 2 junction here as well. So I got 2 there. Okay, the next one would be to check the numbers of resistor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So everything tally lah. Sepatutnya tak ada masalah. So again, you can always recheck and double check lah before you start. This is 20 volt. Okay, now the first thing that you can do is that you can try to solve this part first. Okay, and then after that you can solve this parallel resistor, and then you combine again in series like that. So if you draw it like this, memang nampak jelas. And then my advice is that every time kamu combine, macam kamu combine yang ni series kan, I suggest you to redraw, especially kalau dia involve dengan if the next question dia tanya pasal nak cari resistor, nak cari voltage dengan current through this resistor. So you have to combine so that you can determine the current and voltage punya behavior. Okay, but this time saya tak combine sebab saya nak jimat masa satu lagi sebab dia tak tanya pasal current dengan voltage. But I'm gonna label this one instead R2, R3, R4, R5 and R6. Okay, to solve this one, again obviously you have to solve the R2, R3 and R4 first, and this one. So these three are in pair, in series, so simple solution. So it will be R2, 3, 4 equals to 7 plus 1 plus 10, which is equals to 18 ohm. Okay, once you get that one, so basically this one becomes 1. Again, you can redraw that one, and then you can combine these two, which are in parallel. So my R2, 3, 4, 5 would be 1 over 18 plus 1 over 6. So R2, 3, 4, 5 will be equals to 18 divided by 4, which is 4.5. Okay, now I combine already this part. So the next one will obviously try to combine the three resistors that are now in series. So my R effective is equals to 2 plus 4.5, the one that we calculate just now, plus 8. So my R effective will be equals to 14.5 ohm. Okay, and then moving on to question 11C. Okay, now again similar to previous one, try to redraw. I start straight away. Start from positive terminal and meet up the first junction that I call it red there. Oops. Okay, begin. Anyway, before that red junction there's no resistor. Before that, this one there's nothing, so you should draw nothing as well lah. And then after that it made up a junction, the red junction there. Okay, and then up here it made up with 15 ohm. So I'm gonna draw that one first. Oops. This one 15 ohm. I write it straight away so that nanti later tak confused. And then meet up with a pink junction there, and then goes up again. Split up, and satu tu go through 19, satu lagi go through 8. So the 19 one, saya rasa saya buat ni tinggi sangat, so dia tak muat. Alamak, terikut lah. Okay. Ke mana tadi? So this one is 19 ohm, and then after that 19 ohm dia meet up dengan yang 5 ohm pula. Oops, sangat buruk. Okay, better. So yang 8 ohm, and then dia combine dekat orange punya junction. Okay, so now actually we already draw this part. Yang 15 ohm tu dia pecah dekat pink junction, yang satu tu 19 and 5, and then it goes back to orange, and down there they meet up straight away ke orange tu. Okay, and then the go straight still there's no junction, tapi dia akan meet up, there's no resistor here, but dia akan meet up at a junction here with the 9 ohm there. So the 9 ohm I haven't drawn, so that one is from here actually. I gonna meet up somewhere over there. And still have the 2 ohm. It goes back to the initial position. So this is my 2 ohm, and then this is the yellow one, yellowish. Okay, so before you start to calculate, always double check. So I have 4 junction, red, pink, orange, yellow. So red, pink, orange, yellow. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resistor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resistor. Okay, I haven't write the values for this one, which is 9 volt. Sorry, 9 ohm. Okay, now I can label my resistor instead. So R1, R2, R3, R4, R5 and R6. Okay, to solve this one, obviously you can solve this part first, and then you combine the whole thing. Okay, after that you can combine this and this, which are in series, and combine the whole thing here. Then the last part is combine the whole thing there. Okay, so the solution would be I solve R23 first, which is equals to 19 plus 5, which is equals to 24 ohm. Okay, and I can combine 1 over R234, which is 2, 3 and 4 are in parallel, so it will be 1 over 24 plus 1 over 8. I got 24 divided by 4. Sorry, 24 divided, yeah, correct. So it would be 6 ohm. That one is for this part. R234 is 6 ohm. And I can combine with this one, which is 15. So R1234 is simply 15 plus 6, which is 21 ohm. Okay, so this one settled already. I just have to combine with the 9. 1 over R1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals to 1 over 21 plus 1 over 9. At 6.3 here. Okay, and the last step is obviously to combine with the R6. So my R effective will be 6.3 plus 2. So the whole thing here plus this one, okay, which is equals to 8.3 ohm. Okay, so I think that's it for series and parallel. But remember, in exam, normally they will combine the question. The follow-up question will normally be like calculate the current across R1, across R2, across R3, and then calculate the voltage for across the R2, R3 ke. And to do that, I strongly suggest you to redraw the circuit every single time kamu combine this one, you redraw, combine this one, you redraw again, combine the whole thing, you redraw again. Okay, that one will help when you try to solve those questions. Okay, so thank you everyone.